I suppose the deepest fascination is that we all fear death. And a vampire is an immortal being who was once alive, died, and came back to life. We're fascinated with the idea of the undead. We're fascinated with the idea of graveyards. We're afraid to walk through them, not because there are dead people in them, but because they might come back to life. And the terror that we feel is, it's exciting, it's thrilling, and it stimulates the imagination. Vampires, however, are very different from ordinary monsters or undead monsters because they participate in an act which is very sexual. They have victims they long for, and they instill a longing in the victim, which is very much like sexual longing, or if you would, love. The kind of feeling you have when you first fall in love with someone. And because the vampire is dead, he needs one thing to continue living, and that's blood. He doesn't need food, he needs blood. And in taking the blood, he takes the life of his victim. Now, this can become pretty metaphysical when you think about the fact that the beloved is killed by the act of love. Normally we think of loving someone and giving them a reason to live, making life worthwhile. But the sad thing about the vampire is that when he consummates his love, he destroys the beloved. So you have this tension between life and death. It's very difficult to extricate it. You can't quite comprehend it. But life and death are kind of what's the word? They're kind of fused together. And the vampire is a figure of great terror, at the same time great fascination. Most of the vampires were men, and I think it has a lot to do with the concept of an older man longing for a younger woman. The woman who is the victim of the vampire is usually helpless. She usually can't, there's no way that she can actually reject or push away the vampire. She's helpless, she's in his power. And this is a wonderful fantasy for men. They would so love to have a beautiful young woman helpless in their power. So this is one of the reasons that I suppose men are fascinated by vampires. Women probably as well would like to be in a situation where they no longer have, they cannot resist. They are, in a sense, overwhelmed by their feelings. Well, we're talking about someone who's dead. And dead, but also still alive in the world, which means that this is a creature who is immortal. And what is immortality? It is a god creature. So it's very fascinating to imagine someone who still lives even after he's died, who has immortality, who has, in many instances, youth forever. Not always, depends upon the way the vampire is depicted, but lives forever and flies. I mean, we're talking about someone who's a kind of dark angel. And you think about graveyards we have angels in our graveyards. We have beautiful women carved upon the sides of sarcophaguses. We want to stay young and fresh and blooming forever. That's why we have the whole concept of angels in the graveyard. The vampire is a dark angel. He's a dark bird. Sometimes he's a bat, but he is a dark bird. He flies, he lands, and he brushes wings with angels. It's dark wings with light wings. So it's a fascinating idea. I mean, I could talk about it forever. It's very theatrical. I mean, what is theater? Theater is drama, and drama is sex and death. That's what the two elements of drama are. That's why we like to go to the theater and pretend that what we're seeing is true. Or we sit in front of the movie theater, we look up at the screen. And human beings do this incredible thing. They believe what they see. And you know, we all do that. And if it's a really terrifying movie, I'll say to my little girl, it's only a movie, it's only a movie. But she, and just like I, believes that what we see is real. And what drama is sex and death. And sex, of course, is life. It's life and death happening in front of us, in conflict, in turmoil. And the vampire is both. He is death in life, and he's very sexual. So it's kind of a compilation of all the things that we love the most to see when we go to the theater. I mean, I think it's very fascinating, and I think it's very, very hard not to watch it. You just get caught up in it.